Apple just made a move that nobody had on their bingo card. They've announced Apple Business, a single unified platform that replaces 3 separate products: Apple Business Essentials, Apple Business Manager, and Apple Business Connect. One platform rolling out to 200 plus countries on April 14th. If you run a small business, a startup, or a lean tech team, this might be the most useful thing Apple has shipped in years. Think of Apple Business as Apple finally admitting that having 3 separate management tools was a nightmare and doing something about it. You get built-in lightweight MDM, that's mobile device management, without needing to buy or configure a third-party solution. You get app distribution both from the App Store and custom packages, configuration profiles, zero-touch deployment, meaning a new employee opens up a box, turns on their Mac or iPhone, and it just sets itself up. Great. And now there is a new layer on top of all that. Business email with your own domain. Yes, business email with your own domain. Calendar, contacts, file storage, employee directory, all native, all integrated, all branded. Apple isn't just managing your devices anymore. They're helping you run your business operations. This is perhaps not for your enterprise IT team. If you're running Jamf or Microsoft Intune, Apple Business doesn't replace that necessarily, and actually is not trying to. This is aimed squarely at small businesses setting up from scratch, startups that live on iPhones and Macs anyway, or teams with no dedicated IT resource. Perhaps someone in ops is probably doing device management as a side quest, and this would be helpful for them. For those organizations, the value proposition is clear. Stop paying for integrating and maintaining 5 different tools. Just use this. And the price hook, do I hear you ask? Well, it's free to get started. That's a direct shot at Google Workspace and Microsoft 365. Here's the part that I think gets underreported. Apple's real play here isn't just device management. It's ecosystem lock-in at the business level. When your company email runs through Apple, when your calendar, contacts, and directory are Apple native, when your devices self-enroll through Apple Business, when your brand shows up in mail and maps through Apple Business Connect, well, switching away becomes painful. That's not an accident. That's a strategy. Google actually did exactly this with Google Apps, now called weirdly Workspace. Back in the 2010s, they gave it away almost free, seeded it into startups and schools, and a decade later, it's the default for a huge slice of the market. Apple is perhaps running a similar playbook, except with a hardware mode that Google never had. If you are already on Apple hardware, the friction to adopt Apple Business is almost zero. And once you're in, your identity, your comms, your device fleet, it all lives inside the Apple wall. For advanced environments, this perhaps won't cut it. Complex conditional access policies, deep compliance frameworks, hybrid Windows Mac fleets, you still perhaps need a dedicated NDM tool. Apple is generally pushing declarative device management, which is a more modern, scalable approach. The direction of travel is right. The question is one of pace. My take on all this, well, this is a smart, well-timed move from Apple. It lowers the barrier to entry for Apple device management, it removes the complexity that was keeping smaller organizations away, and it positions Apple as a genuine starting point for new businesses, not just a hardware vendor. The bigger question here is how far Apple pushes this. If they add deeper identity federation, stronger compliance tooling, and keep the pricing accessible. This gets genuinely competitive with Workspace and M365 in this space. I'll be watching the April 14th rollout closely and see how it all pans out. What do you think? Does Apple Business change how you approach Apple in your organization? Drop it in the comments. Like if this was useful, and subscribe if you want more takes like this. Rogue Loop, where AI meets real-world innovation. See you in the next one.